Welcome back to the video Advent series, and today we're looking at Luke 2. And from verse 8 in Luke 2, we read this. And there were shepherds living out in the fields nearby, keeping watch over their flocks at night. An angel of the Lord appeared to them, and the glory of the Lord shone around them, and they were terrified. So Sonia, you were telling me about the shepherds being like that's their job and hearing from God in that. That's fascinating. Tell me more about that.
Yeah, it struck me. Obviously, we know that shepherds were not considered the highest people in society, and we know that kind of the angels and God chose to reveal himself to them, to kind of lowlier people, lowlier in society. But it really struck me when I was reading it that it was actually their workplace. It was actually where they were. It wasn't like appearing to the shepherds when they've gone home at night. It was in their workplace. Yeah. He comes and reveals his glory. They're actually where they are in their workplace. And I was thinking, what could that mean for us in our workplaces?
Yeah, totally. Like in our day, I think we often think God's going to speak to us in the big moments at church on a Sunday, or when we're on our own taking moments. But the fact that they're in their day to day is it's really interesting. Yeah. So what do you what can we do to sort of pursue that? Because obviously this word that they heard from God, it's a massive word, life changing word. So what can we do in our workplaces and our day to day to kind of be listening to God? Do you think?
I think one of the key things for me is at the end it says they were terrified. Now, obviously, I mean, maybe we're going to see actual angels in our workplaces, but that's not necessarily going to happen for all of us. But there is maybe that element of fear for us, maybe fear of rejection, or fear that things aren't going to go quite how we want to if we're wanting to talk about God in our workplaces. It might be that we're wanting to just kind of treat people in a way that Jesus would treat them in our workplaces. I think praying throughout our working day and not being so task focused. Now, I'm sure lots of us have got very busy jobs, and when I talk about workplaces, for some of us those workplaces can be at the school gates. Some of them can be high pressured kind of like CEOs of companies and all manner of things. But in our workplaces, to actually see God at work in our workplaces, and to kind of bring some of the glory of God into our workplaces is something that I think we need to kind of just be refocusing ourselves on God throughout our working day.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
So it might be on the way to work, praying for the things we've got ahead. It might be praying for our colleagues before we go into meetings. It might be just showing care to other colleagues and other people that we're meeting through our working day. When they're in tough situations, offering to pray for them, things like that. There's lots of different ways, I think. But I think that fear, that they were terrified, that's something that can translate to us as well if we're not careful. So we've got to kind of let go of the fear and push into it.
That's great. And I really encourage you today. I don't know where you're going to be today. Are you going to be at work? Are you at home today? Are you at school gate with your friends, with your family? What can you do today to pray through the moments in your day to hear the voice of God? And it might be terrifying, but I encourage you today, seek out these opportunities to hear from God in your day to day. Thanks, that's so helpful.